Do you have faith like Abraham from the Bible? Abraham is known as the father of faith, and his story is a powerful example of what it means to trust in God. In this script, we will explore the faith that Abraham had in God, leading up to the moment when he almost sacrificed his son Isaac. We will also discuss how we can have faith like Abraham and why it is important for every Christian to trust in God. Abraham's story begins in Genesis 12 when God calls him to leave his home and go to a land that he will show him. Abraham obeys God's call and sets out on a journey of faith. Along the way, God makes several promises to Abraham, including that he will become a great nation and that all nations will be blessed through him. Despite these promises, Abraham faces many challenges and trials. He and his wife Sarah are unable to have children for many years, and they begin to doubt whether God will fulfill his promise of making them into a great nation. However, God remains faithful to his promise and eventually gives them a son named Isaac. It is at this point in the story that Abraham's faith is truly tested. In Genesis 22, God calls Abraham to sacrifice his son Isaac as a burnt offering. This command seems unthinkable, but Abraham trusts in God's goodness and obeys without question. As they journey to the place where Isaac will be sacrificed, Isaac asks his father where the lamb for the burnt offering is. Abraham responds with these words, "God himself will provide the lamb for the burnt offering, my son." Genesis 22:8. These words reveal Abraham's deep trust in God's provision and his willingness to obey even when it seems impossible. When they arrive at the place of sacrifice, Abraham prepares everything as God commanded him. Just as he is about to sacrifice Isaac, an angel of the Lord appears and stops him. The angel tells Abraham that he has proven his faithfulness and that God will bless him greatly because of it. This story is a powerful example of what it means to have faith in God. Despite facing incredible challenges and trials, Abraham trusted in God's promises and obeyed his commands without question. He believed that God was good and that he would provide for him no matter what. So how can we have faith like Abraham? First, we must believe in God's goodness and trust that he has our best interests at heart. We must also be willing to obey his commands even when they seem impossible or difficult. Secondly, we must remember that our faith is not based on our own strength or abilities, but on God's power working within us. As Paul writes in Ephesians 2:8-9, "For it is by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not from yourselves, it is the gift of God, not by works so that no one can boast." Finally, we must remember that our ultimate hope lies not in this world, but in the promise of eternal life through Jesus Christ. As John writes in John 3:16, "For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life." Abraham sacrificing Isaac is a reflection of how God sent his only son to die for the sins of the world. Just as Abraham was willing to sacrifice his son out of obedience to God, so too did God sacrifice his son out of love for us. In conclusion, having faith like Abraham means trusting in God's goodness even when things seem impossible or difficult. It means obeying his commands without question and remembering that our ultimate hope lies in Jesus Christ. May we all strive to have faith like Abraham and trust in God's love for us at all times.